And intro coming up in 3 and 2 and 1 and it's the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast coming to you live on Double C TV, featuring Darren.
Oh God, we're doomed.
And Double C. Wrestling gets you laid. Gotcha. As they take on 5 hours of WWE programming.
I'm pretty sure he fudged it just while he was doing the Hurricane Run. Like, oh God, I don't know how to do this correctly.
Once again, we are back for another episode of the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast, post-Wrestlemania.
Yay.
Yep. And, of course, we have a new world champion. And
Yay.
Dolph Ziggler, yay. And WWE trying to get on the whole, we finally got a viral thing going on.
And failing miserably by the looks of it.
Yeah, they're trying to milk it for all it's worth, but you can't really milk that a viral thing. Kind of goes, against the whole thing about being viral. So tonight, whenever you decide to listen to this, we have Smackdown from the 12th and Monday Night Raw from the 15th. Yay!
Mm-hmm.
So we can start off with the Smackdowns.
Alright, let's start this bitch.
Yes. So, show starts off with Dolph Ziggler, new World Heavyweight Champion. He comes down. He goes, there's only one person in the world to thank for this world title, and it's me. Because I'm the one who did it, not you fans, because you all suck.
Oh, hubris. Oh, hubris. How you try to be so much a bad guy.
And I won in spite of the people.
Really?
Yeah, he said that.
He's trying his best CM Punk.
Yeah.
And failing miserably at it, I might add.
I mean, he's a good wrestler, but he's no CM Punk.
Yeah, nice try.
And then, right afterwards, Jack Swagger interrupts. Well, Swagger doesn't really say anything. It's more Zeb Coulter. He goes, you should thank Jack Swagger, because he's the one who put Alberto Del Rio in the ankle lock. See, I tried to horribly murder my R's there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he leaves because he wants to. And then Alberto Del Rio, he interrupts right afterwards. He says, I vow for revenge, and I will take it when I am healed up.
So you mean 2 days later?
Yeah. And
well,
then,
about a week later.
Yeah. Ziggler goes, yeah, okay. Cool story, bro. He actually says that.
I'll talk about this a little bit more when we get into Raw, but is it just me or is Ziggler a complete idiot?
We'll see later. And then right afterwards, Chris Jericho interrupts. He goes, I talked to Booker T, and your first match as World Heavyweight Champion is going to be against me, so ha. And then Ziggler goes, okay. Okay, we have a main event.
Interesting.
First match of the night. Team Hell No versus the Primetime Players. The first time. And a fairly quick match. Titus O'Neil taps out. And then right afterwards, there's a video on the Titantron about the Shield. And they go, we didn't back down when you guys showed up to save your Undertaker friend, brother thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't back down. We regrouped. And that's it.
Yeah, whatever. Running away is running away. And not to sound like not to sound like the fan here, which I know is impossible, but you still look like a bunch of idiots sometimes. Cue on what happens at Raw. And this is the one thing that bothers me about their Shield is that they're going back to their old tropes, and I hate when they do that. Because they become the NWO again, like I said. They don't become a threat, they just become guys who beat up random people for some reason.
Next up, we have Wade Barrett versus Santino. And
let me guess. Does Santino lose?
Yes, but this is how he does it. Santino gives himself a concussion trying to nip up. Twice.
Nicely done, Santino.
He eventually nips up correctly, and he tries to put on the Cobra thing. He goes to Cobra Strikes, but the Cobra strikes a big boot instead. And then Barrett throws his elbow, which, that championship commission thing, they should probably look into that elbow pad, because he's loading that thing up. It's kind of obvious,
It's like that thing from TNA is that apparently nobody can notice the bleeding obvious when they see it right in front of their face. Yeah. That's my major problem with the refs. It's so obvious that the refs are complete inept idiots.
I know. The announcers say that he's loading up the elbow. It's just like Cowboy Bob Orton's cast. Mm-hmm. And locally, the Grappler, that's actually his name from the old Portland Wrestling, he had a loaded boot, which he loaded up, and it's like, oh no, you can't do that! He's a bad guy. He wears a mask. Mm-hmm. He's old. Yeah. That's all I can say about that.
It's one of those things where it's obvious what he's doing, but nobody does anything because they do something that will just prove that they're not incompetent or prove that he's not somehow remove his bad guy cred for some reason.
I mean, at least when William Regal did the whole power of the punch thing, he hid the brass knuckles. And eventually he was caught. Moving on. We go Sheamus with Booker T backstage, and then Orton appears. And then Teddy Long appears also.
Everybody's just peering out of nowhere, apparently.
Yeah. Teddy Long undermines Booker T and makes a handicap match versus the Big Show.
Interesting.
Third match of the night. The Bella Twins and Tamina versus the Funkadactyls versus Caitlyn. In this match, I finally figured out which the Funkadactyls has talent. It is Naomi. That is confirmed. That's about it in the entire match, except for Tamina, but Tamina wasn't really in the match that much.
Yeah, we had to put away for the other crappy wrestlers. It amazes me sometimes.
However, Naomi gets slammed in the back of the head with the mat thing. It's like that move that they do.
Okay.
And then the Bellas win. I don't know which one, because I don't know which one is bigger. More on that later.
I don't know which one is which, but they both are stupid in my opinion, because they can't both wrestle.
Next up, Triple H's speech on his WrestleMania match.
Don't care, moving.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to say it anyway. He comes out.
Damn it!
He says, they went to war! And then immediately the three-man band comes out and says, we're going to take you out because you're the big dog and we're going to take you out. And the Shield comes down and then it was like, oh no, there's going to be 6-on-1. And the Shield goes, yeah, no. They beat up the three-man band and then Team Hell No assists Triple H and stuff. Yeah.
Shenanigans all around.
Yeah.
proving to me that they don't know what to do with the Shield right now. They're most likely trying to lead to something with the Team Hell No.
Yeah.
But from the looks of it, they're just using them randomly again, which is the worst use of them. Because once again, it proves that they're useless. They're just out there beating up bad guys. Beating up good guys. Why? Because they're good guys.
Right. Next up, we go backstage with Big Show and Booker T. Obviously, Big Show is mad about the whole situation. Because why should he be in a handicap match for reasons that are not his fault? And continue to be not his fault.
Because he's the bad guy, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, because you're the good guy, that means you get all the treasures and treats you want.
Up next is that handicap match, Randy Orton and Sheamus versus Big Show. Where Big Show gets RKO'd and bro kicked out to the outside of the ring. Count out. Because Big Show says, screw this, I have an ironclad contract, so suck it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Backstage, after a commercial break, we have an interview with Sheamus, and then immediately gets blindsided by Mark Henry.
I'm guessing we're building to something for some reason.
Yeah. He gets attacked on a catering, so, once again, I'm sad about the food.
Wasting good damn food.
At least it's not a pot of coffee.
Dude, if he did that, that would just be... Sheamus' skin would turn red.
Yeah.
It'd boil.
Next up, match number 5, Antonio Cesaro versus Kofi Kingston. In a massive upset where Kofi hits the Trouble of Paradise out of nowhere for the 1-2-3.
Oh, I see where that's coming from. So that's why he got the match on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
We'll explain a little bit later about that, and we'll laugh about his comment.
Main event time, Dolph Ziggler versus Chris Jericho. With Fandango outside of the ring doing nothing. He's scouting Chris Jericho, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Big E, I wrote down here, Big E blindsides Jericho, Ziggler wins, Fandango drops the leg on Chris Jericho. And dances.
So, nothing interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing really interesting. The crowd tried to do the whole Fandangoing thing, but thanks to SmackDown's mixing board, it didn't work.
SmackDown, you're inferior to every which way and form.
You see, this is what happens when you do a taped show. You have full control over the mixing board, that you can control the chants and all that stuff.
You'd honestly think that they have an editor that's make that better.
Well, you could. However...
No. Well, you'd think they would.
Well...
That costs money.
Well, yeah. I mean, they don't have the awesome editors that they used to. I mean, they would have a WrestleMania recap video package right after WrestleMania. It's like the last thing you see is a recap that they show over and over again, you know, on the shows. They do that live. So it's amazing that they could splice together footage from the event and then play it all at the end. By the end. It's crazy. Now they don't do that. They just don't. But, whatever.
Whatever. That sounds more like a... That sounds like a more aging problem thing, like, you youngsters today don't know how good you get it.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into Raw, I gotta rant a little bit about...
Go ahead and rant, dude. I do it all the time.
About my local wrestling promotion, Portland Wrestling Uncut. they're not doing so good. Sure, they got the 1-year contract with the TV station, which is great and all. But apparently, they've been canceling shows and not paying their talent to wrestle. This has turned into a storyline, obviously. And everyone's pissed off. And for the last 3 weeks, I was treated to a repeat episode and 2 clip shows of matches from Portland and also matches from Hollywood, which this heel manager, the grappler, he says he's bringing up scabs from the NWA territory in Hollywood. Apparently they're going to do an invasion angle.
Yeah, because we know how well invasion angles work.
Well,
Isn't that right?
Well, we can get into the whole WCW invasion angle later, but whatever. But, you know, considering that the Portland wrestling talent, they're not, I'll be honest, they're not that good. They're really amateurish. I mean, aside from the champions, they can't really go right now.
Well, they're independents, dude.
That's the thing. I see these guys from the Hollywood superstars, the Hollywood stars, and they can go just like any other indie promotion. And it just seems like you're gonna get the floor wiped with you guys. It's like
I think it's honestly just your talent's not good. I hate to say it, but whoever's training up there is not doing his job.
Well, I know. I just wish that DOA Wrestling had a TV deal, because they're actually paying their talent.
I wish Ring of Honor had a TV deal.
And I don't know, it's like a train wreck. Some of it's good sometimes, but
you know what? I wish had a TV deal. Dragon Gate USA. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, even if it's like a, well, what was it, public access deal, I'll set the DVR. You know,
I've seen a lot of. We have actually a wrestling show around here called Inside the Squared Circle, and I know the dudes personally because I've talked to them about a few times ago, and I used to work at the public access television station that they play at. It's so yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. You could just easily go public access television with all this stuff and just play clips.
Yeah, and not everyone's gonna have a national TV deal like the. Remember when I talked about the old, not old, but Impact Zone Wrestling, IZW.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen a show from them since January, and I had to turn off the January show, which was about December's big event or whatever, their December to Remember or whatever it is. I had to shut it off halfway through. It was like, I can't take this anymore. I'm sick of these gimmicks. I've only watched 2 shows.
It's more the problem of what modern USA wrestling is becoming. It's more becoming gimmick heavy. It's becoming more about storylines. And I want to blame WWE, but it's just a part of the... WWE is just part of the trail. And honestly, it's a conglomerate. Like, we don't have the great circuits that they do in, like, other places, like in Mexico, where they have better gimmicks over there. Or in Japan, where they have tighter wrestlers. Or hell, even in Germany, where they have great wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, I could go for the storylines. The storylines weren't the problem, really. It was just almost like the interaction, the noise in between, with the gimmicks blending, really.
I think it's more or less that we're just falling short.
I guess. But anyway. So, that's enough about indie stuff. We might have like a continuing indie segment in between SmackDown and Raw. How does that sound?
That sounds fine. I'll have to watch more of my stuff then.
Because we are wrestling fans, and, more is better. Most of the time. Okay, so Monday Night Raw. The show opens up directly into a match. Randy Orton and Sheamus versus Big Show again.
Because we didn't get enough of that.
Yeah.
First time.
This one lasts longer, though.
It's still the same match.
Yeah. Big Show dominates Sheamus for most of the match until he gets a 500-pound electric chair.
Which sounds painful as all hell.
Yeah. RKO, Orton wins. They celebrate. It's like, yeah, we beat him. Ha-ha.
Again. Ha-ha. Yay, hooray.
Yeah.
Move on to the next thing. What do we got next?
Backstage with the three-man band, they say they want to call out the Shield because they got beat up. Yay. And then they go out to the ring. They say that they want a written apology, like they're going to get that. Instead, Brock Lesnar comes out. And destroys.
I love the comment that Y Ruler Time pulled out on this. Are they faces now? And I just commented, no, they're just the whipping boys.
No, they're just idiots.
They're the whipping boys. It's their job to get the shit kicked out of them.
So, yeah, Brock Lesnar totally kills the three-man band. The crowd wants more, but Heyman says, no, that's enough. After 2 F5s onto the barricade. Holy crap.
Which, that first F5 looked like a painful son of a bitch.
And then Paul Heyman gets on the microphone and goes, Brock Lesnar wants Triple H again. Because it's 1-1 now. We gotta have a rubber match.
You gotta have that tiebreaker match. We gotta make sure that we know who's gonna be better.
And wants something extreme.
Extreme!
With no countouts. No disqualifications. He wants
nothing in the way.
He wants a steel cage match.
I would suggest that something is in the way, preferably the steel cage, but whatever.
I mean, sure, we get an Elimination Chamber and we get a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So I guess steel cage works.
But it is Extreme Rules. So I was thinking more another street fight.
Right. However, I think there is a little bit of strategy in this. Every single time Brock Lesnar uses the steel steps, he loses. So if you take out the steel steps, he won't lose.
So what you're saying is that steel steps are his kryptonite.
Yes. Think about it.
And if anybody else is that silly, come forward. I want to hear any other theories.
Because think about it. He lost to John Cena. Why? Steel steps. And then he lost to Triple H. Why? Steel steps. Out of his 3 matches he's had, and the 2 of them he lost because of steel steps. Makes perfect sense.
Yes. Your troll logic is perfect logical sense to me.
Yep. Up next, Kofi Kingston versus Antonio Cesaro for the U.S. title. Now, I say it's a U.S. title instead of the European title because Antonio Cesaro has actually brought prestige to the championship.
By yodeling.
Then he yodels. Now it's the European title again.
And now it's the European. No, it's actually the South African title now.
West African.
Oh, Kofi's from West Africa?
Yeah.
I thought it was from South Africa.
Oh, that was Justin Gabriel.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Kofi and Cesaro trade, what is it? Roll-ups, pretty much.
They pretty much just try to roll each other up every now and again.
Mm-hmm. And he rolls Cesaro up to the Trouble of Paradise, which kind of looked cool.
Actually, he more rolled out of it and then went into a Trouble into Paradise.
Yeah. Which is
pretty much he rolled out and then springed up.
Which is like the only way you could set that up correctly, because otherwise he's clapping in the corner, waiting a minute for you to get up.
And everybody is going to see how it works.
Mm-hmm. So
never works when you start clapping.
Yeah. So apparently Kofi Kingston gets another mid-card title. So...
Though I do love what he said afterwards.
He says...
He's bringing the U.S. title home.
To a West
African man has said that he's bringing the U.S. title home.
USA. USA.
Sometimes idiocy is so bound-worthy.
Okay, so that means...
I'm convinced that the writers are high at this point.
Okay, so that means that a U.S. citizen, well, not really, American-born citizen, hasn't had the U.S. title in over a year now.
Correct.
Yeah. And the streak continues. Just pointing that out, Zeb Coulter.
Yeah, they're not going to go for that. They're too focused on the world title right now.
I know.
Why? Because they're big shits.
After that, we have a Money in the Bank cash-in replay. Yay.
Which I got sick and tired of. Like, really? We saw this last week. Can't we do something else?
Yeah, right after
we literally are watching a replay of last week's events.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't really a replay. It was actually the whole thing.
It was the whole match. That's what bugs me. It's like we're watching the whole match again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that it was a bad match. It was just, we're watching it again. Can't have, like, highlights or something like that?
I don't know. Use the slow-mo bumper on it. Mm-hmm. That would be awesome.
Do something like that. You're wasting our time, WWE. Meanwhile, we could have actual wrestlers wrestling again. Like you did last week. I know it sounds like a crazy idea, but just hear me out on it.
Dolph Ziggler then comes out. He says, he's just too good. It's like I'm watching Smackdown again. I had to check.
He once again goes into hyperbole, saying that he will never, ever, 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 ever lose the belt because he's so awesome, uber cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... I know you have to be that. It just bugs me as all hell.
And then Alberto Del Rio comes out. He says, I want a rematch.
Right now.
Right now. My ankle is fine, even though I'm limping. Give me that crunch, Ricardo.
And Dolph Ziggler tries to say no.
Even though it would probably be a big, easy victory.
Proving once again to my theory. Dolph Ziggler is an idiot. Or the writers are. I don't know who.
But then again, heels don't want to put their title on the line because faces get super, super, uber straight.
I call bullshit. He can barely walk. I call bullshit. He can barely walk. Put him in an ankle lock and he's done with.
Then Vicky Guerrero, she interrupts. She goes, you know what? Make the match. Ring the bell. Damn it.
And right before the match begins, Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter come out.
And let's see. First, they get beat up by Del Rio.
And then there's a giant pissing match between everybody.
Everyone beats everyone else up.
and everybody beats everybody else up. Dolph Ziggler just sits in the corner, once again proving that the World Championship means squat, and we only care about the people who fight other people fighting. Are we going to have one of those placeholder champions again with Dolph Ziggler?
You mean the, like paper champion or transitional?
Paper champion. Just a guy there to be a stand-hold, to hold the championship for a while.
That's what I hear they're going for. To give him a bunch of challengers because they think that he's a weak champion since he's new. Will he persevere? Because we all know that worked out so great for Jack Swagger. Just saying.
I'm sorry, but you have a new guy. You know, Dolph Ziggler, he's a good wrestler. Give him actual challenges. Give him actual meets to fight against, and let him prove his shit.
He would if he was a face.
You know, I mean, give him good face competition. Prove that he's a good heel. But that's the problem. His gimmick is a horrible gimmick. It's just that teenage little stupid little high school guy who never got out of high school, who thinks he's the biggest shit in the world. That type of egocentricity that I know most heels have, but I just don't. It's just the gimmick of Dolph Ziggler is stupid. I just don't like it.
It's really like the Mr. Perfect gimmick. Yes, I said it.
I would dissuade from that because Mr. Perfect was perfect in all reasons, but it just feels more to me like those high school douches you used to know in high school. I know I go back to high school a lot, but that's what that's what it feels like with. It feels like with Dolph Ziggler. And I know that makes me sound like I can't get over high school, but you know what? Fuck you. Let's move on to the next thing.
Primetime Players versus Team Hell No. Yay! Again.
Gee, I wonder how this match ends.
Team Hell No win. We also get to find out that there's going to be a 6-man tag at next Monday on Raw with The Undertaker and Kane and Daniel Bryan versus The Shield.
How much do you think that that match is never gonna happen?
Oh, I think it's gonna happen.
I doubt it. I'm gonna be the cynic in this party.
And then The Shield wins. Again. Up next, we have a video package. Well, not really a video package. It's like, I don't know what to call it. It's not really a backstage interview because it's a black backdrop. It's the why, Ryback, why? Why did you attack the good night John Cena?
Why did you attack our poor helpless Mr. Squarehead? I'm sorry. Does it? Well, both ways work.
Yes. Ryback explains that he was in the shadow of John Cena because you were supposed to be my friend. How come you didn't help me versus the Shield? How come you left me out, left there to dry out and get beaten up by the Shield all the time when I helped you out with the Shield? You were supposed to be my friend, John Cena.
Which I want to say, get over it, but he kind of has a point.
He's right.
He's 100% right.
Again,
John Cena is a giant douche.
Again, we side with the heels because they make logical sense.
Are we going to just have this going as a thing? How many times we can point out the logical reasoning behind everything and say that the heels are the right people?
Yes.
Yes, mainly because, well...
It's too easy.
because the writers are a bunch of idiots.
I mean, even the 3-man band thing versus the Shield thing is like, we got beat up by the Shield because they stole our time. You know, we got to confront them. Even though that's heel on heel action, whatever.
Weak excuse, but I get it. Ryback's excuse is a little bit more prevalent.
Mm-hmm. So, after that...
Once again, after realizing that once again that our faces are a bunch of assholes,
we get treated to an R-Truth match versus Wade Barrett.
Barrett.
And I didn't really pay much attention to this match, mainly because of R-Truth was in it. I'm sorry, I'm still getting Night Terrors of Capital Punishment.
Hey, that's your fault, dude. That's your fault, dude. You watched that.
Yeah, and I also remember him coming out in Confederate uniform.
That's somewhat hilarious in hindsight.
Anyway. So R-Truth upsets Wade Barrett. It's an upset. I'm calling it an upset. Screw you, Twitter. It's an upset. R-Truth says, it's not an upset. Mike Chioda on Twitter, or no, it was not Mike Chioda. It was Armstrong. Said, that wasn't an upset. Completely botched his hashtags too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with upset on that one. And honestly, I couldn't pay attention to this match because it went fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was looking away for a second, and suddenly, match over. R-Truth won.
Yeah, it's like, I was surprised, you were surprised, R-Truth was surprised, because after the match, he goes, did I really win that? And then the announcers goes, yes, you won that match!
I honestly think that Wade Barrett was supposed to win that. But somehow they messed it up, and they just had R-Truth win it.
Maybe Barrett was legitimately knocked out or something. I don't know.
I don't know how to explain this, folks. Just, it's a weird upset win that we didn't expect. And it's probably going to lead to R-Truth becoming the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, so we have another... So this is the first...
How many bets do you want to bet that it's going to be a 24-hour championship again?
I don't know. But this is the first match where the title holder lost. Keep that in mind.
Actually, well, technically, didn't Antonio Cesaro lose?
Yeah, but that was a title match. I'm talking about non-title matches.
True.
Next up, we go backstage with Teddy Long and Vicky and Brad Maddox. Teddy goes, I'm in a match. Now you gotta go tell them.
I'm in a match, playa. Now go tell them. Tell everybody else.
Maddox goes, okay.
Okay.
Next up, we have the Great Khali and Santino Marella versus the Rhodes Scholars.
I fervently looked away from this match. You could not beg me to watch this match.
Yeah.
But, before we go ahead of time, I want to note the quote that crap, I forget his name now. Not Cody Rhodes, the other guy.
Damian Sandow.
Damian Sandow, thank you. I was having a huge brain fart. The quote he said about dwarves on the shoulders of giants. He took that way out of context. I looked online to see what that actually meant. It means it means that it's reversed to science and how the scientists are dwarves within the shoulders of the giants of science themselves. and it means about how they're advancing, how things are growing, that sort of thing. He took it so out of context, meaning that Kali are dwarves and Sandow and Cody are giants. You'd think a guy who is supposed to be this very, very official, like, quoting machine of literal giants would actually take that quote seriously and actually use it in context. It's like he just pulls random shit up. Like he's trying a cinema snob. And I'm calling it right now.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry. That's my little soapbox.
I didn't know where you put that period.
I'm sorry. That's where my soapbox. That's my little soapbox.
Okay.
Right there.
So, heels win with a roll-up. I don't really care who.
Nobody gives a shit.
Mm-hmm. Now, up next, we have Fandango in the ring, and everyone's Fandangoing and singing, and he gets on the mic. He goes, "Go Fandango yourself."
Which automatically I noticed they're trying to keep him heel.
Yeah.
Bad move. You know, if you have something that is so viral like that, you automatically turn that guy face. I don't give a shit what you planned ahead of time. You turn it face and you try to throw angles at that.
Then he leaves.
Just think ahead of time. Just think of more profit measures and think of a guy who actually improves and focuses on that. Think like a YouTube guy who generates memes. See? That's how my brain works. You know, I should be running this goddamn company. Because I can do it 10 times better than these shitheads.
Backstage.
And have it belly up in about a month.
Yeah. Backstage, we go interview with John Cena. He goes, he wants to go face to face with Ryback. Because he's not very happy about Ryback spilling the truth on him.
Because he can't admit that he's a big fat idiot.
Mm-hmm. Next up. Jack Swagger versus Dolph Ziggler. If Jack Swagger wins, he gets a #1 contender spot. And
I guess that makes sense somehow.
Yeah, that was
technically Alberto Del Rio still has his match that he has not gotten yet. He still has his rematch.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that was the whole Teddy Long thing. It's like Teddy Long goes, "Yeah, I put him in the match, and they gave him extra incentive if he wins." So it was implied.
It's implied, but it's really kind of stupidly. It's kind of stupid when you think about it. And I use stupid a lot here because, well, you gotta think. Which apparently they don't do over in WWE. I know this isn't supposed to be high drama where you're supposed to think about the Cartesian way or some shit like that. But a little thought goes a long way. Mm-hmm. If my 5-year-old points out something that you did wrong, think about it.
Jack Swagger rolls up Dolph Ziggler clean, for the victory. And then Del Rio attacks because he's Del Rio. I don't know, whatever. He attacks.
And I put on Twitter, who are the good guys here? I don't know. Everybody's an asshole.
And then we go backstage with Sheamus, and he's about to give an interview when sudden Mark Henry. Cross counter.
You know, for a guy that big, he can sneak attack like nobody's business.
And Sheamus goes flying into the
green screen.
In the screen thing, and he disappears. And Mark Henry goes, "That's what I do."
That's what I do. I shove people into green screens. Get your hands off me, fool.
Eat 'em up, eat 'em up. Tasty snack, tasty snack.
Thank you, Chocolate Sexy.
Next up, go back to the ring. Because CM Punk comes out. He's going to give his address for his match at WrestleMania. That was delayed because of crowd reaction.
Oh, that was delayed to next week because of crowd reaction.
Yeah.
Which, to be quite honest, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have him praise over CM Punk since he's technically the bad guy.
Yeah, he's a very bad guy. Who I thought would shoot his mouth off and the company would be sent back even further because of the events of yesterday.
Yeah, I was fearful.
I was legitimately scared.
I was fearful. I swear to God, I was thinking the same thing you were. Oh, dear God, don't let him do that. Oh, dear God, don't let him talk about Boston. Please, dear God, don't talk about Boston. Thank God. Good taste somehow prevailed. I don't know how. Maybe divine intervention. I'm going with that because there's no other logical reasoning for this.
Yeah. CM Punk gets on the mic. He says that basically the same thing he's saying all the time. Even the backstage stuff with interviews with like other wrestling not organizations, but
other wrestling podcasts or shit like that.
Yeah, podcasts and sports blogs and stuff like that. He says he always wanted more. I mean, he's gone after the title for over a year. What's the next big thing? He doesn't enjoy the present. He's always looking to the future, that sort of thing. It's the same thing he's been saying all along.
That he's a hardworking ass. He's a hardworking bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from what I've heard, he's a bit of an asshole as well, so it's both ways.
Well, yeah, but he's a relatable asshole.
He's a relatable asshole, still an asshole.
Yeah. And then he stops talking, gives Heyman the mic again, and he walks off. Not back to the gorilla position. I mean, he goes to the side stage area.
Pretty much infirming that, and I checked this online, CM Punk is going on break.
He needs it, really.
And to be quite honest, after this run he's had, about a full year as champion, which, praise him on that, then the Undertaker match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he needs a break.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, I think it's honestly good that he's taking a break so that we can actually get some other people working in here.
And then he comes back and raises all hell again. That's going to be sweet.
Hey, Hey, trust me. Give us a few weeks off of CM Punk. Come around June time, he comes back. He's going to raise all hell, and we're going to be happy for it.
Yes! Love that feeling. So
it was kind of bittersweet and sad to see him go.
Yeah. And okay, so after that, we go to Booker T and Teddy Long. They're backstage, and they are arguing that Teddy overstepped his bounds once again.
It's almost like he's starting to become a heel.
Like he still wants to be general manager. So, and then Booker T goes, "You messed up here. I'm going to fix it. Triple threat. Bam."
Whatever.
Which is actually the next logical step to all this.
Technically, yes, this is the logical step, but, you know, if somebody thought ahead, this wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, here is your main event.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it is.
I forgot that this was our main event.
Nikki Bella versus Caitlyn.
That's the match we close out on, folks.
Yes. And this is the match where Jerry Lawler points out, hey, one of the Bella twins is bigger than the other.
I can't tell.
Meaning
they both suck.
Which means that one of them has the implants, the other one does not. But one is bigger than the other.
So you'd think you would be able to tell that way.
Yeah.
Just being a sexist pig.
That's our Jerry.
So Jerry is ahead of the curve and can tell the difference because he looks at boobs.
Yes.
This is shit right out of a Japanese anime.
Oh, so after this idiot twin magic signature move,
which that ref somehow like pushing Caitlyn back when we've seen people pull other people back for reasons I don't get. Mm-hmm. Why? Because of the switch, mainly because it was there because of the switch up. Yeah. Which, if that's the reason,
it's whatever. It's a switch up.
I still call it lame. So, I'm calling it what it is.
Yeah, I know, it is lame. But one of the Bellas win, I don't really know anymore. It doesn't matter. And that's the third champion who got beat in a non-title match.
Something tells me that they just don't have any prevalence in their title, in their actual title holders.
Or they're so desperate to get a number one contender, they'll do it by any means necessary.
Surprisingly, they don't want to do a tag team. They don't want to do what they did with the tag team and have like a championship ladder match, a championship tournament, like you would do with any normal thing, or have like a 4-way, like they're having at main event tomorrow.
Yeah, a Battle Royal Fatal 4-way. Just have a number one contenders match. That's all you really need to do.
That's how you set it up normally.
But, you
don't beat your champion.
Or, well, it's another way of doing it. I just don't want to see it done 3 times in the same show.
I don't want to see it done a lot. Rarely do you want to actually see that done. Actually, I've been thinking about that. This has been happening more and more often than it should happen. Because you want your champion to look like a champion. He's the big guy on top. You want him to be the big guy on top, to be the obstacle that everybody else has to go above. And by beating him, this proves that the obstacle is legit. So, you can beat him on Raw. Why do we have to buy the pay-per-view then? Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Do you see my insane logic?
Yes, I see it.
Good. At least somebody's getting this, because apparently not the fucking people running this show is.
Oh, next up is this John Cena what? He calls out Ryback. Confronts. Whatever. God damn it.
Hey, we're all pissed off at this show.
Yeah.
And I know the proper person to blame. And I don't want to say it's Vince McMahon, because he's probably off somewhere fucking off. I'm blaming the head writer, because he can't wrangle his people in to do proper stories.
Yeah. Bring down the hammer.
I would love to bring down the hammer, but nobody's implying me to. I've actually tried to get a position in WWE 3 different times already.
Yeah,
and I've listed these podcasts as reasons why.
It would be insane to have one of the writers from WWE actually watch this stuff.
I
have
swear
such a
to
kick.
I swear to God, I do that every time. I literally just type in a message. Reason why I'm a better writer than you. Employ me. Send our podcast name.
So, okay. So, John Cena, after calling out Ryback, he goes, "You haven't earned a shot at the title. Like a heel would do." And...
Though to be fair and logic, technically no, he hasn't earned a shot.
I know, but that's something the heel would say.
Well, it's kind of hard to say no because I am not pro-idiot.
Right.
Let's just say that.
Mister, if you want some, come get some. Mind you.
True. True, I'll give you that, but he still has to earn it in a match.
Yeah, I know. He still has to earn it. But coming from John Cena's mouth,
it's hypocritical in all the directions, but if it's right, it's right. I can't point out the logical flaw in it.
I know. So, okay. So then Ryback, he's mad about this.
But he does nothing.
Yeah, he does nothing. He exits the ring.
Meanwhile, the camera somehow focuses on two grips playing with wires.
Sierra Hotel.
Literally, I love the reaction of Jerry Lawler as they're trying to cover up what happened there.
Did you see that? What's going on?
And then, the Shield comes out.
Yeah. Sierra
they
Hotel,
do their
Echo.
thing.
They
do their thing. They surround John Cena. Ryback sits there. They beat up John Cena. They're just there beating up bad good guys because.
Ryback is in charge of the Shield all along.
Now, I was going with the more drama side angle. The drama side angle that he never got helped out by John Cena. When they were beating him up, so he's not helping out right here.
Yeah.
Oh, the drama irony.
Yeah, basically. So,
though I do love Jerry Lawler's comment about it. It's like, oh, we got a sneak peek of it. Nice way to save face there, Jerry. Nice way to save face there. You can't admit that the cameraman fucked up.
Yeah.
Actually, more the technical operator fucked up on that one. He switched to the wrong camera. There's no two ways about it. The production team screwed up.
Yeah. That's going to be on Botchamania. That's going to be hilarious. Yes. So, yeah. That was Raw.
I made fun of it.
Yes.
It was something.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad, because I'm not flipping my brains out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't good.
And Smackdown was a waste of time like usual. I didn't even get a funny word from JBL either. That was disappointing.
I swear to God, I think JBL said something funny on Raw, but I'm not sure.
I think it was during the Divas match with the one's bigger than the other, and then probably JBL goes, "How can you tell?" or something. I don't remember. I was kind of out of it.
No, everybody was out of it. We were How could you pay attention to anything when it's a Divas match?
I don't know. But yeah.
So that's our point at this point. CM Punk is gone, so no longer we will have good matches. And now we're going to fill that up with Divas matches and the Great Khali.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Oh. Daniel Bryan, please drop the tag titles and feud with Ziggler.
Or we could have something else. We could get somebody who's good back there doing something.
Like who? Oh, Cesaro.
We could get Cesaro to do something since he has the He no longer has the U.S. title.
Yeah, let's have him do something. Yeah.
Or we could get, like, one of the B-stars out there to do something.
Yeah, where's Bo Dallas? You know, still on NXT.
Yeah, they dropped his ass.
I know, I'm disappointed with that. So disappointed. Oh well. We'll have a lot of stuff to talk about in the coming weeks as we go for Extreme Rules.
Extreme!
Extreme!
You're not doing it right. You gotta get more into deeper. Extreme!
Extreme!
Not right.
Extreme. Yeah.
You need a respirator, dude?
Nah. It's stress testing my voice for music and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not a good... Yeah, don't quit your day job.
I wish I could. Anyways, that's going to be it for the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Extreme.